Okay, I'm going to introduce a new part of a new series. They all combine at some point together to make one huge one, but each one has separate ones. These are the hippies. They started off as the hippies. And in the county of Victorson County, Texas, this is a fictional story, so all those usual disclaimers, read the description, they apply, and it's copyright. Okay, these are just, I'm giving little highlights and kind of like a rough draft, but they're, yeah. Okay, now the hippies, they started off as that they were university students back in the 60s. And, young, and the Victorson County overall is very wealthy, and it's the only people that can live there or buy property there, not live there, but buy property there, have to be descendants of the original very wealthy settlers, and but they were wealthy, and then they had their workers, let's just call them workers, employees, that anybody has to be a descendant from them for most of the county. Okay, now the ones that became the hippies, and they came from very wealthy families, and they joined the hippies movement back in the 60s, and they convinced their parents, they were at university, and they convinced their parents to buy up an area of most of the land off in one area of Victorson County that had not been really settled at all. I mean, it had a few houses on the outskirts, which were close to other towns, but other than that, it really didn't have a town. And they convinced their parents to buy it, and over time they got their own county, their own town named, and over time. Okay, and it became, and I'm reading my notes here. Okay, so they're still kind of somewhat near, but they made themselves more central, central to the outskirts over time. But at first it started off as like a commune. I mean, very cliche kind of thing. And they were into free love, and just think of the hippies. And their parents were fine with their parents. They kind of wish they had been young enough. Okay, and let's see. They named it the town, like I said, but some still call it the hippies. The town, they call it the hippies. Now, they had some people who were living there, but over time, years, they just moved out, and they sold their homes or gave them back to the basically the county, but it's the elders that run the whole thing. And now some of the hippies, their children, mainly became part of a group called the Members. They were into computers back when being on computer was not cool. Geek was a dirty four-letter word, and many of them were part of that. And as time went by, that became a very lucrative, overall, very financially. The Members, they started all kinds of different kinds of businesses, and helped other kind of businesses, and so. But they were mainly those, and they get dividends and all that from it. Okay, now some of them moved out. Some of them didn't agree with what it was evolving into, which was that some of the hippies' children, they became part of polyamorous relationships. They had polyamorous marriages, and then how it all works. And some weren't happy with that. They didn't want that. They moved out in other parts of the county, but most of them stayed. Okay, they developed mainly a town of polyamorous people, and they don't claim, though, some of them do say that they're married, but overall they don't claim they're married, like sister wives. They're not polygamous. They don't see themselves as polygamous. Okay, some of them claim to be married to one person, but they generally don't claim to be married to all of them. Okay, and this is that they can have other relations. Both males and females can have other relationships. Okay, like some of the women, they have more than one man in their lives. Let's see. Like I said, it was melting. I'm reading my notes here. Okay. I had written that they wanted to change the name of the town, but they couldn't, but eventually they did. And, okay, that's pretty much all my notes. But I'm going to do more on this as a series, you know, and talk about different aspects of it and what all comes about. And it's going to be a series, okay? So, but all these, like I said, all these series, they kind of connect together at some point. Anyway, I'm wrapping this one up.